Holy moly, what do I do now? You know, in downturns, time of crazy crisis and setback, I'm going to give you a couple of recommendations here. Number one, emotions are the enemy of wealth. Be very careful in a downturn to do something stupid based on emotion. Look, sales is an emotional sport. Relationships are an emotional sport. We're emotional beings, but the truth is we shouldn't make sort of business or money decisions out of emotion. Let me give you an example. Back in 2008, the quote last crash, as some people would call it, stock market went down from 14,000 to 7,000. If you just stayed in it for another 36 months, it would have gotten better. Now, you know, here we are years later, stock market just went down at this time from 30,000 to 19,000 and everybody's losing their marbles. It's still way higher than what it was back then. The only thing you needed to do was be patient and do nothing. Don't sell when the market's down. I know people that back in 2008 said, I used to do so well and I had all these houses and rental properties and I lost everything. And I always wonder, what does that mean, I lost everything? I lost everything? How do you lose everything? Well, it means one of two things. Ready? Number one, you had fear, so you sold when things were down. You panicked and sold, which you should never do. You should hang on to things if you can, right? Number two, you lost them because you didn't have enough cash to support it. So there were people I know that had a lot of properties and, you know, they didn't have cash. So it became like a house of cards, right? Lost one property, the next. So this is where cash is important. And I know a lot of people that I respect in business, etc., that say cash is ridiculous. There's no reinvesting. There's no interest earned on it. But cash is freedom. Cash is flexibility. Cash is choices or options. So I'll give you an example. I won't mention by name, but I have a private coaching client who many people in my community know, great guy, and he's built up as a developer some great net worth, almost 6 million at a young age, and he's got 300K cash on his balance sheet. And I told him, you know, I'm worried about your cash, and he said, I know, me too, and 100K of it is security deposits I can't get at, right? And I said, you know, I have a rule of thumb for this: cover your assets, 20% of your assets with cash. Now, this rule is not right. It's not wrong. It's just a made-up rule. But if you would have had, you know, $1.1 million, $1.2 million, or whatever in assets, in cash, you're probably going to weather all the storms. Okay? Probably. There's no guarantees. It's not the right formula or the wrong one. But so let's go. Number one is emotions are the enemy of wealth. Don't do anything stupid when the market's down. Number two is, you know, the power of building cash in good times. Okay? Or having access to cash, as I've talked about on, you know, other videos here, which is, you know, even credit availability can be powerful, especially in a downturn, that sort of thing. Okay, I'll give you a third one, the double bogey. The double bogey. So my old business coach, Keith Cunningham, used to tell a story of how he used to go golfing with a buddy of his, professional golfer Tom Kite. And Keith was, you know, not as good a golfer, obviously, and he'd hit a bad shot. And Tom said, you know what a double bogey is, Keith? And Keith's like, what's a double bogey? And he said, I know what a double bogey is. And Tom goes, no, I don't mean that. I mean in life or in business, a double bogey is a poor shot followed by a really, really stupid shot to compensate for the poor shot. And that's what people do in times of downturn or crisis or setback or whatever. Holy moly, what do I do now? Don't do a double bogey. Don't do something really stupid in time of crisis. So this is part one of the video. I'm going to do part two on a separate video. Holy moly, what do I do now? And talk about other ways not to double bogey and to protect, as best you can, your business and hold your, you know, your family together and your finances together the best. So look out for that one. Hope this was helpful.